How do you guys feel about Venezuela? Because we are going to be seeing a lot of Venezuela Saturday night
this
into
weekend.
early Sunday morning. This is USFanTV Live. Let me turn that off. There we go. This is USFanTV Live. We do the shows typically Tuesday and Thursday nights where we talk about soccer as it relates to the United States. We have a lot to talk about tonight because the Baby
The
Nats, the
United States
U.S.
has a lot of stuff related to soccer.
Yeah, the Baby Nats, the US
Imagine that.
U20s won today big. It was a throttling against New Zealand, 6-0. It was one of those games at the end where I kept starting to write a tweet like, oh, it's 4-0. And then I had to just not do it because they kept scoring. So I just let it ride. I had to get my kid on the bus. But they looked amazing. And now we get the opportunity to play Venezuela early Sunday morning, coming
Get a
from South
doubleheader of
Korea.
sorts.
There was a bunch of confusion today as to whether Fox is actually going to move it to Fox Sports 1, but apparently there's drag racing on tape delay on Fox Sports 1, and we don't want to screw with that. So it may be staying on Fox Sports 2, I think is the latest. Hopefully they come to their senses and move it to Fox Sports 1. And we're playing Venezuela, of course, in the U20 World Cup, just hours after we finished playing Venezuela in Salt Lake City, where the full men's national team, the main men's national team, the men's national team, yeah, the grown Nats, if you will, are they have a tune-up game against Venezuela in Salt Lake City, of which we will predict what Bruce Arena is thinking and what he wants to do with the starting 11 coming up in a bit. But yes, it's busy. It is a good time to be doing a show related to U.S. soccer because there's a lot to talk about. What should we start? Let's talk about the performance today, shall we? Because that's, and then we'll give our roster predictions for Saturday night. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect to me. That was kind of where I thought we were going. So that is
Daddy Nats, Blake says.
my
I like
hype
Daddy
train. Daddy Nats. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, how
D's
drunk do you have to
Nats.
be to watch drag racing at 2 a.m.? Like you're like smash a bottle over your child's face drunk if you're.
We did once watch Oklahoma Hoggin or whatever,
Oh
Oakley
my God.
Noodlin, Oakley Noodlin.
That is some
when
of
you
the
hand fish.
best TV though. I haven't seen that on TV in a while. It's where you grab a catfish out of the banks of a river with your hands. Like sometimes the guys will even let the catfish like bite their hand and then give them one of these and kind of pull it out. That's amazing late night TV. Like that may actually give the U20 World Cup a run for its money. If those were both on, I would probably choose the U20 World Cup.
Picture in picture.
But yeah, maybe I'm flipping over, to see what Cletus is doing with the catfish.
Okie Noodlin and Girls Gone Noodlin.
Yes.
Real movies.
I believe in some parts of the country it's called Hagen, which
You
has
believe,
a different
you
meaning.
Believe? Are you not coming clean here? You believe?
I have some knowledge of this. I've never done it, but I have some knowledge related to this. So, yeah. What the hell were we talking about? Soccer. Sorry, New Zealand. You seem like a very beautiful country.
New Zealand.
Your people seem pretty cool. I know you're great at rugby, but damn, that was a beatdown that we put on you. I'll call it this morning because it was this morning for our purposes, but we look good. Do we have a chance? Do I even want to say it? Do we have a chance to win this whole thing?
We were Gandalf to you. We told you, you shall not pass. Yeah, actually, I mean, realistically, we are amongst the better teams remaining in this tournament. I mean, France bowing out was a big deal. If you want to look at challengers, I still think, I mean, Germany's still alive, right? Portugal, should we advance past Venezuela? And it's not over. Venezuela hasn't been scored on yet. I don't think so. They didn't have any in the opening round, I know. So if Venezuela's going to be a hardy test, they do present some issues with we like the one position we haven't really looked strong at is right back, and they do have. I mean, you kind of know what Venezuela is going to do at all levels. They're going to be fast and they're going to attack on the wings, and that could be trouble for kind of a weak right back position. That said, the nice thing about this game, because that Saudi Arabia game was bullshit in terms of cards that were handed out. So we had a bunch of guys who were all in trouble, and essentially, because I think cards get wiped out then at the quarterfinal, the semifinal level. So realistically, everyone's on till, barring injury, everyone's on till the end of the tournament now. I mean, I suppose if anyone got a red card, whatever. But you know, the nice thing was Cameron Carter-Vickers got his suspension served, so that's out of the way. He's back now. God, we had what, 3 guys that and now I can't think of the other two's name, the names of the other 2 offhand, but right now, yeah, we'll have a full team, and you won't. We were down about 3 starters in that game, and to see now that we rolled over New Zealand, even without them, means, hey, we got some rest, we got our suspensions covered, and with the scoreline, you got to feel positive going forward.
One of your favorite actors ever is from New Zealand. The guy who played the manager on Flight of the Conchords. I don't even know his name, but
yeah,
he's up there, awesome. I think, for you with Jeff Goldblum.
I was just gonna say he is. He's the New Zealand Jeff Goldblum to me.
Both of those guys.
I love that they're totally odd and weird, and they are awesome. I will watch anything they are in because they're so odd, and they are hilarious to me.
Yes.
Herrera and Derek Jones. That's it. Nice job, Mike.
So yeah, we actually, it's not going to be a 6-0 game when we play Venezuela, and we're talking right now. If you're just coming in, we're talking about the U20 Venezuela game. We're going to talk about the friendly with the full men's
first half
team.
of the doubleheader.
Yes, we have a U.S. versus Venezuela doubleheader.
Now, the nice things about the game today, you could say Josh Sargent got another goal. I mean, technically speaking, he got a goal. Realistically, he kind of nudged the ball a little bit. It's not like you can really go like, oh, look at that goal.
Hey, I mean, being in the right spot is a big part of it, though. So
there is that. But I wouldn't really give that. I think that was more. I think it was Justin Glad's. It should have been his first goal. But Brooks Lennon looked awesome. What else? I had notes, but I didn't really look at them in advance, and I've kind of forgotten things. De La Torre played well. Justin Glad looked really good. You know, there are a lot of things, a lot of positives to really look forward to going into moving forward in this tournament. You know, Ricardo Vickers and Eric Palmer Brown have both been very good at defense. I think we'll probably. I think their roles will become extremely important early Sunday morning when we take on, or I guess late Saturday night if you're on the West Coast, when we take on Venezuela. Because I noticed somebody said, you know, they looked TJ. Yeah, they looked great. Yeah, it's true. They have a nice team going in here. Come on, they haven't given up a goal. They haven't scored as many goals as we have, but although they do have I think their leading scorer is now tied with Sargent for the Golden Boot, unless Sargent is credited. And I didn't see if he was credited with an assist on. God, I can't remember whose goal it was now. If he is, then he should be in the lead on points. But I think I think that other guy has like one more goal, maybe.
We'll have to look.
Could be wrong. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that game will probably go a long way in deciding who's going to, you know, do it, because they're playing against each other, and someone will advance. So someone will get more opportunities.
All in all, I think the other half of the bracket is stronger. At least it's a historically stronger half of the bracket. But when you look at, if we should, in the winner of our game goes against, you have to think probably Portugal. Now, my question, should we play Portugal, is which one of us is going to wear the other team's jersey?
We have because the same uniform. Jerseys.
Essentially, yeah, their white uniform looks an awful lot like ours, and our red uniform looks an awful lot like theirs. So, yeah, way to go, Nike.
Thanks for the template there, Nike. They, every few years Nike goes back to just making everybody the same jersey. And then, sometimes they go away from that. Like World Cup years, they tend to go away from it. Off years, yeah, this is what you get. You get like the white one here. Everybody gets the same one. Even the
Yeah.
United States, where Nike is, gets the same jersey as everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, we don't get anything special. Like France got something kind of special. Their version of this uniform, not terrible. They pushed them clearly to make something special for them, and they did it.
We
U.S.
talked
Soccer
about
claims they pushed them, but we went, meh.
We talked about the red
Yeah,
at length when it came out, but if it had just had a normal crest and not the Valentine's Day crest that they
yeah,
put on it, because I love the red practice jerseys that they still wear and don't
yeah,
sell except for children. My
yeah,
son has one because he's 6 and can fit into it, but they never sold it for
yeah. What
adults.
that's ridiculous. I wish I could get one of those. I also wish I could get one of the red full zip sweatshirts that they also
The
only if you
sex
had
jacket, as it
connections
was
or
known online.
I think that is that the sex jacket or is the gray one from the last World Cup the
That may
sex
also be
jacket?
the sex jacket. That's a
The
very
one
good one. I
that like
have
you
it
and I
hanging
both
right over
own.
there.
Yeah. Um
But yeah,
anyway,
why
yeah,
not
yeah.
sell cool stuff? What is the
Yeah.
problem?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like I don't want the stupid pullover hoodie sweatshirt. I want the zip up one. It to me looks cooler. I like it more. I'm assuming it's also made of the same material as that gray sex jacket, which I like more than the whatever, probably the like fleece material that the pullover's made of. But anyway,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Uh,
Nike Aero Swift is what it's really called. To use
huh.
if Dominic found one on eBay. That's not a bad idea because I
If
know that they're out there. If
yeah,
you're in the Ross
if you
group
knew
on
the right
Facebook,
people, you
they've
could
got
you
them.
could get a hold of them early on because there are some guys in like the DCAO group who somebody knows somebody with US Soccer has some kind of connection and managed to get in on like the early release of that stuff. But I heard it came to some stores and then they pulled it from shelves immediately for some reason, and it's never come back. So they do exist somewhere. Or they did. They're probably in like Africa now, given away to like children who have no idea what it says on there,
Like the losing
like
Super
the
Bowl
losers
team.
of the world of the Super Bowl. Yeah. Um,
Mike's asking when is Cameron Carter-Vickers going to leave Tottenham in favor of actually playing? We hope this summer.
we hope so. I don't believe it. I think one with Champions League games ahead of them, they're going to want more depth. I think Pochettino and the club are both too in favor of him as a future star for them, that they want to keep him. And on top of it, unless he's going to prove himself, where's he going to go? I don't think they're going to loan him out because of those extra games. I think somebody's going to have to buy him. And I don't think that anybody wants him bad enough because he hasn't played enough games yet.
Yeah, you don't have
if something happens and exactly. Well, I mean, somebody might want him, but not at the kind of money that I think Tottenham would want for him. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I'd love it if he did, but I mean, realistically, the math doesn't kind of add up to me. I'm guessing that he'll see more action probably, this year. Maybe because of like say early Champions League games, he'll play in those. Maybe he'll become a regular cup game starter. If that works out, if they make it deeper in, maybe he makes it into the season. But at the same time, I don't
for a
want
guy
Spurs
who
to make it too
never
deep.
played. He made the 18 a lot. It
Yeah,
was really
yeah.
weird.
Well, he's definitely considered one of their future stars. Now, the problem, and we've gone over this in the past, is so much of their team is so young that it's going to be hard to break into that starting lineup. Having said that, I think they are going to start having players poached, and that's not play on their coach's name, but I think you are going to see more guys from their team get snapped up just because they are so good and talented and so young. So maybe that means he'll get a shot before too much longer. But you do
Please
have to
do.
think you do think you have to think that he's got to get a chance in the next year to 18 months or so, or he starts hitting that window of then there's new guys coming up and what your career stalls. So I think right now he's still in a good spot, but sometime in the next 12 to 18 months, I think he's got to get a regular starting job.
All right. So the Baby Nats play early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, depending on where you live. We'll see. But before that,
Blake, before we move on, Blake has a comment, a question about, with as well as Tyler Adams is doing the U20s and for Red Bulls, is it out of question to consider him for the Gold Cup? I actually wrote some of these down in a note today for today's show to say, I'm not sure how many of these guys are truly going to get a shot at the Gold Cup. I just think there are too many guys who Bruce wants to look at right now, particularly guys who could fill out the roster, say, leading up to the World Cup. And I'm not sure that he's going to really draw on like 18, 19-year-olds who aren't essentially in the position of like Pulisic, where it's like they're already a known quantity.
Yeah. We still want to win the tournament. There's a lot of guys we want to look at, but ultimately we want to win. So
yeah. But I mean, I do think Sargent has a good shot, as we've discussed. I see no reason not to call him up, even if it's just to the camp. But I mean, Brooks Lennon has looked awfully good. Carter Vickers, Palmer Brown, Tyler Adams, De La Torre, Justin Glad, like a bunch of these guys have looked very, very good. Why not? If they do say beat Venezuela, if we start looking at we could come home with a trophy of some kind, I think then you got to start considering challenging these guys at a higher level. I'm not, like we said about Sargent, I'm not willing to say that he's the future for any of them, but I do think there's an awful lot of talent there, and you want to see what they can do. And maybe the camp prior to the Gold Cup is 30 guys or something, 32, 35, something more like a World Cup, and it gets winnowed down by the time the camps or by the time tournament starts, just so you can try and see so many of these guys together, because it seems to me there are an awful lot of guys who I think deserve a challenge at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who you need to know how they stack up against the other guys up close, and having a bigger camp would allow you to do that. That's something we have talked about many times on this show, that not all of these guys. We joked that our list of guys we want to see play in the Gold Cup is getting longer than could possibly play, but calling him into camp at least would give Bruce the opportunity to see, well, how does he stack up against Michael Bradley or something, to see where they really are. And I think what's clear, and we'll move on to the other Venezuela match soon, but what's clear to me is that we have a youth team that has a ton of technical skill finally.
Finally.
It's very different than we're good athletes. We've got a lot of heart. We bomb it forward. We're going to outwork you on defense. The stuff that was our bread and butter for so long. We got guys that can play soccer now, like really, really well. So, and a lot of them. So that's what's most exciting to me. And even if they don't beat Venezuela, or they don't, beat Portugal or whoever they would play next, it's been fun watching them play, and it gives me a lot of hope, and it kind of reminds me of when we took that step when Donovan and Beasley and those guys came up in the Sydney Olympics. We kind of saw that they'd be the next generation. It feels like kind of another step that we're taking right now, which is fun. So
yeah, it definitely I think ups the ante for your hope for, say, like the 2022 World Cup, because in general, I know the discussions we've had, we weren't particularly looking forward to that one, because most of the guys on the team now are going to be too old. Dempsey's long gone by then. Bradley's probably gone.
DeMarcus will be there.
At least in a yeah. DeMarcus Beasley will be like coming out in a wheelchair. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at you probably want to move on from like Howard, possibly Guzan as well. The defense, almost nobody, like Cameron should be well retired by that point. Brooks should still be there, but until we knew like Yedlin and Villafana, who knew? Fabian should be gone. Like all of our best players should be out the door at that point. Even if Bradley is still here, he should be in a much, much more reduced role. So we were kind of looking at, there's not a next generation really coming. And I think it is going to be a much larger leap right now. There's kind of almost a 10-year gap really between like the guys who carry our team now and the guys who I think will carry our team in 4 years. So at least if we're going to make that kind of start all over, at least we're starting off with what appears to be a much more actual soccer players as opposed to just soccer playing athletes.
Yeah, it's very cool. And hopefully a lot of these guys, if not all of them, are playing in Europe at that point too, because
the Gold Cup, yeah, TJ, you're right. I mean, without Mexico's A team, the Gold Cup is a must win. Really, it's that we're trying to qualify for Confederations Cup if Confederations Cup continues to exist, because I don't think it's going to exist in 2022 or 2021 anyway. So I don't think it's going to be played that cycle, but does it continue? So maybe it doesn't mean anything this time. I mean, it's still up in the air. Officially, I think it
could do it. One of their stadiums is fully air conditioned, isn't it? I mean, if they had all the games in one or two stadiums, they could maybe do it over the summer. I cannot see them stopping league play 2 years in a row.
No.
To do it though. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's a trophy, and yeah, I want to win it. And it's more winnable because Mexico won't be able to bring their full A team. But I'm not that excited. A fourth place finish in the Copa America is more exciting to me than winning the Gold Cup.
Oh, absolutely.
We've seen us win the Gold Cup in person multiple times. It's fun to see them win a trophy,
it's
but
fun,
it's like,
but that's about it. I mean, really, when the whole value of the tournament is, okay, when do we play Mexico and how do we do? To me, that's a waste. It doesn't show that. It doesn't give us a chance to truly measure ourselves. It doesn't give us a chance to, I think, truly find value. It doesn't really make the players work that hard. It doesn't make the team have to show something new. It's sort of like, I don't know, fighting a child. Yeah, you could probably win, but you beat up a kid. Like it's such a weak tournament.
Fighting a child. Mike brings up. I asked you this morning. If Tab goes all the way, is he our next manager? I think he may be.
I think he's got a very good shot at that point. I'm curious too with Brad Friedel. If maybe he has a future, or if they might find some combination of the two. With Friedel in the 17s, like there are guys with long histories and very strong histories with the U.S. national program, and then good playing careers. But Ramos and Friedel are amongst the best players we've ever had. And then to see that they're doing well as coaches, I'm still not sure that we may not commit to some kind of revolutionary in a sense, some great visionary. But if nobody like that is available, if there's nobody that seems to fit the mold the U.S. wants, to me, yeah, Tab probably becomes the guy, and I think that's the weight of that, I think, becomes even stronger if he does in fact win this tournament.
It would be hard to deny him at that point. I mean, with
having
that
kind of like we're saying about the players, you give the guys who succeed new opportunities and new challenges, and what's the next challenge for him?
Yep. So I mean, that'd be cool if you can make that happen, but we're still a few wins away from that. So, all right, starting 11 ideas for Saturday night. against Venezuela. What I was going through in my head is I was trying to weigh the best possible lineup that we can put out versus who I think might get some rest or might get a shot against Venezuela in that friendly. And if you're Bruce Arena, do you want to just keep your best lineup out there and keep it fairly consistent so you're building toward Mexico? Or do you want to give, say, Bobby Wood a rest because he may have been getting painkillers shot in his body for months and you want him to heal up a little bit more before Mexico or before Trinidad and Tobago? Even you could even argue that you maybe would rest him for Trinidad and Tobago. Plus, it's hard to keep Deuce off the field after what he did last time, and he's going for Landon's record. So I'm giving away who I have playing forward for us. But so I was having some difficulty weighing that. But I guess
if you go to our website, you should be able to see the choices, the lineups we both picked. And you can see where we went. But really, I guess tell your lineup, and then I can kind of discuss my points as to why mine's different.
Why yours is better?
Why mine is better, of course.
Timmy Howard, of course, that's a lock unless he punches a fan or gets hurt. Back line of Villafana, I've got John Brooks and Jeff Cameron, assuming they're both healthy. They look fine, but we'll see. Of course, DeAndre Yedlin. I've got Acosta and Bradley in the central midfield, Fabian on the left, Pulisic on the right, and then two forwards, Josie and Deuce. Deuce playing a little more withdrawn to kind of fill that 10 role at the top, which is something that Bruce has talked about doing with him. So that's what I've got. Bench, you can throw whoever you want on the bench. You can make your best guess, but I think that's a pretty solid lineup. But this, of course, assumes that Cameron's healthy, that Brooks is healthy. I've got Bobby Wood out because I think that maybe he does need the rest, but these are all guesses. The one thing that I'm very excited about is that I've got Kellen Acosta in. I hope that happens, especially without Jermaine and the temptation to always throw Jermaine out there.
What about Jermaine?
And then the one thing I'm not sure about is Pulisic on the right. Obviously, he plays there for Dortmund a lot, and he gives you a lot on the right, but maybe a person of his skill level should be playing more centrally. So I could concede that point. It just seemed to fit better this way. So what do you think?
I feel like a couple things, and we've talked about this on our own. My feeling is, one, you've got guys going into that TNT game who are on yellow cards already. You don't want to run the risk of Cameron getting a yellow. You've got some of these guys who are older. You kind of know what they're going to do, who they are. I see the Venezuela game being, as much as I think Venezuela is a better matchup in terms of giving us an idea of what Mexico could do, or
True.
So I could see where we put out a better lineup. But to me, one, you don't want to give your game plan away to Osorio ahead of time any more than, he probably could predict our starting 11 too, but you want to hide some of it. There's some
Raj Bennett's interview with him, the Men in Blazers podcast today. He had some strong ideas of what we might do, and he's probably right. So
come on, he's watched us enough. We who watches the U.S. More than we do? Mexico, the Mexican national team. Who watches the Mexican national team more than anyone from Mexico? Our team. We're all that matters. Or vice versa. So you're certainly, I think, he could probably name our starting 11 just like we can. But at the same time, I think there's some gamesmanship to it. You don't want to give everything away, so you're not going to send out the exact lineup or the exact formation that we're going to approach the Mexico game with. Having said that, there's also the factor of you've got older guys. I don't see Deuce coming out in this Venezuela game, because who cares? In the end, if we don't score in this, we don't score. To me, you save him. Maybe he's even a sub in the TNT game if, say, we need a goal late or something. But you save him because I could see where he's probably I think at this point he probably is a starter in the Mexico game, and at that point, you want as much you want as much freshness to him as possible. You don't want him going out there on just a few days rest at his age, and still only months back from a major health scare. So
Uh-oh.
it's like someone texts me and then someone calls me immediately. I had just gotten a text. I was avoiding that, and then the phone rings. Anyway, so I see it as Cameron will probably get a rest. I think Brooks will probably get a rest because there is still the chance that maybe he's hurt. And then I went with a little more experiments as well. If Bobby Wood is not hurt, I'm calling for Josie up top. But if Bobby Wood is not hurt, if he's truly okay and has recovered from his injury that he's been taking shots for weeks, I slot him in because I think because Josie also is on a yellow card, you want to rest him versus TNT as well. Save as much as you can for Mexico, especially since we're playing TNT at home anyway. Come on, if we can't beat them at home, we don't deserve to make the World Cup anyway. So we should just kind of pack it up and be done. We're going to win that game. To me, that allows you to take some chances and rest some guys. I'd rather put some chances, take some chances with this lineup. Enough rambling, I guess. Pulisic is kind of like in my 10 spot. I've got Fabian wide left, Bedoya on the right. I'd rather see Areola here, but I think Bruce is going to go with the safety of Bedoya, practicing kind of for the Mexico game. I think he'll probably be out there because I have Yedlin and Villafaña in the back, and I think that's probably what's going to happen in the Mexico game. And so you trade, Bedoya's offensive struggles or offensive challenges, whatever, for Yedlin's speed and offensive attack. You have Bedoya there as some defensive cover for him. Like you have got Bradley and Acosta in the middle. I think that's the most likely matchup we're going to see. I think based on what we saw in March, Bruce has recognized that Acosta is not only playing well, but to be out there. And I don't see who else kind of fits in this spot if we don't have Danny Williams in the lineup.
Plus, that's one of those
23.
That, like a center back pairing, is one of those situations where you want the guys to have a little bit more experience playing with one another.
Yep.
So yes, I think definitely.
And yeah, because they are fairly new together, I have them going in this game. I think they'll play together versus TNT as well. Bradley has a yellow card too, but he's not like Jones anymore. It's not like his early days where he was such a liability. You knew he was going to get a card. He'll be playing smart because he knows he's got a card and he knows they're going to be looking to get him. So I think he will play it smart and be safe. I think he's okay to have out there. In the back, I already talked about Yedlin and Villafaña on the out wide. I've got Tim Ream and Omar Gonzalez in the middle. I think that's his number two, Bruce's number two pairing. And I think this gives you the chance to rest your number one guys, give them a break. Maybe if and kind of test. If Ream and Gonzalez look really good here, you have the confidence that you can take them out against TNT, and we're set, and you can rest your two best players for the big game, and put the pressure on them then, and you can save Omar and Ream then. So anyway, that's my feeling. Oh, I still have Howard in goal. I could see where Gazan gets it, just as because it's a friendly.
Maybe.
And I think Bruce is going to try and work him in more. Like I could see where maybe he even gets a Gold Cup call up, because with the way his things have gone for him for the last year, maybe you want to give him some more opportunities. But
we should have 6 subs, right? Because it's a friendly.
That's true.
So you maybe see a
goalkeeper. It's been always cleaned up in the last 3. So yeah, I mean, we could easily see a goalkeeper change. But I think probably just for continuity, we'll see Howard. That's why I have him in. But I could see where Bruce maybe trots out Guzan there.
Maybe. I guess it would kind of make me feel better if he did, because I'm confident in Timmy, but I have no idea what Guzan would look like. Although when he came in for Timmy after Timmy got hurt in Columbus, I thought he was fine.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
he
mean,
was.
the
I
the
remember
thing,
he wasn't at fault for the Marquez goal. So
yeah, no, the thing about him is he's more of a fundamental keeper. I mean, that's why I felt like he should have taken over for Howard like after the last World Cup, because he's better with his feet, for one, far better with his feet. Um, but on top of it, he's a fundamentals keeper. You know, he's positioned well. Howard's just a better reaction keeper. He's a shot stopper. Um, Fortunately, it's still working for him. But those guys, I mean, we've talked about it. Those guys fade. Now look at Casey Keller. Yeah, there might have been a challenge back in the day of him versus Friedel, and we couldn't make a decision back then. But you look at who was the better keeper overall, who was still playing at the top level at 40. One was retiring from MLS. One was still playing in the Premier League. Because Friedel was a technical keeper. You know, they may not have the same reaction, so they aren't the same kind of, you know, natural shot stopper or whatever. But long term, that stuff fades with age, because you lose some of that quickness, you lose that response time, and then it comes down to your fundamentals. And Howard isn't as fundamentally sound or positionally sound as Guzan. That said, on his day, he's still a great shot stopper. And while Guzan's better with his feet, Howard can throw that ball. I mean, that dude has like a 60-yard pass. He could be like a quarterback in the NFL or something, where he can like drop a ball on a dime with a throw.
his pass started the Landon Donovan goal against
It did
Algeria in
indeed, yeah.
2010. So,
And you look at how long he threw that ball too.
yeah,
When he threw that ball almost to half field.
that play from start to finish. I mean, we always see the finish and the call and the pig pile that happened at the corner flag, but that play from start to finish was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Still, I
Yes, I went from
love it.
furiously angry to furiously happy. And I use furious there very intentionally, because I was screaming like, "Oh, you couldn't stop us even with keeper, or even with the refs against us and everything." Oh, I was.
It was one of those where I remember thinking,
Oh,
like, there's that split second of disbelief, like they're going to take it away somehow because it's soccer and it's FIFA, and
yeah.
you know we're
And
conditioned
we'd
to
already
feel that way. It's like, no, wait,
Koulibaly in the
yes,
last game stole that winning goal from us, and I was furious, because I was like, we're not gonna advance because a cheating keeper or cheating referee stole a goal from us, a winning goal, and we're gonna go down because of that. And then boom, there it was. Oh my god, yeah, that was one of the greatest moments watching soccer, I think, in my life. Because I went from so angry to so happy so quickly, like in an instant.
all right, well, I will be here in this very spot after that match gets over with. I think it's a 10 p.m. Eastern start, so it's going to be a
I
late
think
show.
that's right. Yeah.
You will be watching Bono sing, so you won't be here. But
In the
I
name
will
of
be
love,
here.
I will not be. I will probably be out of. I mean, I assume, because the concert, I think, actually starts at like 7 or something. It starts fairly early, but we'll see what time they actually take the stage. So I don't know when it'll wrap up. I could, in theory, be in the parking lot maybe to perhaps see the end of the game. I'm hoping for something like that. So I can at least see kind of how things end up. I doubt I will be able to talk, but maybe we'll see.
We'll see. We won't
Having
count.
having tried to be on a cell phone during an event or around an event time at Soldier Field, the likelihood that I'm going to get cell signal is,
That's where, yeah, cell signal dies there every time. And if you try texting somebody, you'll get texts completely out of order. So if you're trying to meet somebody in and around that area when there's a crowd, you have to be on the phone and you have to have a connection, because texting will confuse the hell out of you. Okay, so yeah, I'll be here. We'll do a show after the match. So after the match is over, you know, whether it's we're happy or we're sad or we're confused. I hope we're not confused. I'm done being confused about this team for a while. Jurgen's gone. So
Yeah, my prediction for the Venezuela match is actually 2-1 US
That
win.
sounds about right.
I still see, especially with kind of a mixed lineup, they're going to get opportunities. I don't think, I think their speed and their attack on the wings will be a good challenge for us. They're not a terrible team. We've beaten them the last 2-3 times we've met them, but we never beat them handily, even if we are the better team. I'm hoping to see more offensive power. If we really do produce some offensive strength in this game, then I'm going to predict probably 4-0 versus TNT. And I might be willing to go with at least a draw, maybe even pushing for a win at Azteca. I don't think Azteca is the fortress it once was by any means. But it'll come down to, I'm not willing to say that right now because I want to see that there's that the offense is clicking.
I think we want to see what we look like. We want to see who's healthy, and we want to see that everybody's, no one's suspended for that match because of a yellow card situation. Yeah. So we'll know a lot more as we get closer. But so, yeah, I'm doing a show here Saturday night. We'll see if you stumble into it. And then next week I'm on the road. I'm going to be, it looks like I should be in Denver by Tuesday night now. So I will do the show from wherever I am. It'll probably be Denver. And then Thursday night after the match, we're going to try at the stadium. You're going to run the show from home, and I'm going to try to be punched in from the stadium. So if you're there, if you're one of the people who watches the show and you're there and you can find me, you can be on with us. So
you can be our guest.
As long as you're not an idiot. But
only,
no one who watches the show is an idiot.
3 idiots sometimes when we have TJ.
Leipzig is, but he tries to be. So nobody else who watches the show is an idiot. You guys are all pretty cool. So
yeah, we only have room for 3 idiots on this show. 2 generally, 3 sometimes.
Yeah, then it's just too many idiots.
CCV absolutely got wrongly sent off. If that's still what you guys are talking about. Yeah, he got robbed. I mean, those were ridiculous dives too. I mean, those should have been cards the other way. I hope that the EPL in their review that they're talking about next year, where they're going to start adding cards after the fact for diving, I hope, or some kind of punishment after the fact, I hope that really does happen, that they really do take this seriously, because it's getting horrible. I mean, it's been bad for a long time, but it's becoming so common in so many places that something has to be done to crack down on this, because there's too much open punishment for things that aren't even fouls.
Yeah, completely agree. I think CONCACAF will be the last place we'll see those rules implemented, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes in England. We saw in the FA Cup final, it benefited Arsenal when the Chelsea player, who was it that took the dive for Chelsea?
Oh God,
I can't remember
now. Victor Moses.
Yes, that's right. When Victor Moses took the dive, it benefited.
Elbow of God.
All right, this is USFanTV. The website is USFanTV.com. We have Facebook, and we're doing more on it. We have Twitter. We have Instagram. They're all USFanTV. We hate Snapchat. Leipzig says to tell you about Craigslist, but that's a different thing. We have YouTube, but you know that because you're here. We might be at 350 subscriptions already. We were very, very close before the show started. So thank you to everyone who have subscribed. It's really still ridiculous and amazing to us that you guys even watch the show. So it's pretty cool. Thank you for showing up every Tuesday and Thursday night. I will be here Saturday night, and I'm on the road next week with stuff. Not only will we do the shows, I will also probably, hopefully, have other stuff that I'm putting up on our various social media things and on YouTube. So I did a little mini movie when we went to Mexico that El Tri fans still watch and comment on every single day.
We went to Columbus.
We went to Columbus for the Mexico match. Yeah, El Tri fans watch and commented on it every single day because it's kind of like porn because you can watch us slowly die inside throughout the course of the video. I'm hoping to do one in Denver, and I'm hoping that, I mean, it better be different because it's Trinidad and Tobago. So we'll be putting that stuff up. With all that stuff said, Chris, do you have any final words?
Visit our website and check out our lineups. You can comment on them if you want. You can, I guess, if you have the thing or want to suggest your own ideas. We'll see who wins. We will make our official Mexico predictions, I think, after probably after Saturday's game. I want to at least get a little bit of an idea of what this team can do before I go making vast forecasts of wins or losses.
Yeah, I would say we should even probably wait until after Trinidad and Tobago to
we could, but I think I'm willing to probably. I mean, come on, it's not like anyone holds us to task. If we're wrong, what happens? So I'm willing to make the guess early. I just want to have a little bit of something, so I feel like I'm not just making it up completely. So I'd like to see at least the game Tuesday or Saturday before I jump into that.
And then
mess.
For the Mexico match, we're going to do pre and post game shows. We might do something at halftime. Maybe I don't know what we'll do, but we might do something quick at halftime, but definitely pre and post game shows. And who knows, maybe the U20s will still be playing then. I think the final would be that day. So is that right? I think the final would be June 11th in the morning. So there may be a lot to talk about. Maybe we'll have to do.
That would be a very, very big day then between the U20s, the women, and then the Mexico.
That's true. If we're in the final, I think we got to do a post game show for that too. So
yeah.
You may see us way too many times on that Sunday. Let's hope. Let's hope it's all good. All right, do the final words thing.
Well, first of all, I got to say, what do we think of Wando?
Fuck Wando. We're done with
Fuck Wando. You're done.
All right, we'll see you. You're done.